Good morning, students. Today we'll discuss the zoology NEET question paper based on topic evolution part 1. In this topic, it includes from the introduction to up to the adaptive radiation. So let us start the question number 1. The universe is about. So as you know that our universe, it was somewhat, it is a small speck-like structure. It is a small speck indeed. That means a speck means it is looks like somewhat it is a dot-like structure. It is looks like dot-like structure. That is called as a speck indeed. Okay. So as the universe is gets to start to explode or maybe stretch, now the whatever the existing universe we are going to observe, which is rich in the many innumerable number of these galaxies. Apart from that, so Milky Galaxy, like the uh, Earth surface, the planet Earth, which is rich in atmosphere, particular atmosphere. This atmosphere is mainly possessing the various gaseous molecules. So these gaseous molecules present on Earth's surface is mainly because of the series of reactions which are takes place in ancestral Earth climatic condition. So where an entire universe, the one the our planet was it is looks like somewhat a speck indeed. That means it looks like in entire universe. As the universe still today also the universe is goes on stretching. So as the stretching, so the planet Earth looks like somewhat the dot-like structure, or maybe it is a somewhat is a speck-like structure. So that's why. So here the our universe is about the 20 billion years old. It is about 20 billion years old. That is the 4 point. So option 3, it should be the 20 billion, not trillion. It should be 20 billion. Here it is. Okay. It is 20 billion old. It is. So not 4.5 million years, not 4,500 million years. The 4.5 billion years back, some billion years back, 4.5 billion years ago. So planet Earth evolved or maybe arose on in universe. So this planet Earth arose 4.5 billion years ago. So after this, the 500 years, after 500 million years, so here the first life form arose on Earth's surface. Okay, so that's why. So here our Earth, our universe was about the 20 billion years old. It was. It is sorry. Our universe is 20 billion years old. It is. Our Earth is around about the 4.5 billion years old. It is. So that's why the option it is the first one. So next, the any population has built-in dash characteristic. So here any population, if you observe a particular population, the particular population which mainly possessing the different individuals. So these different individuals has a different gene frequency, different allelic frequency, where these are going to be bring some modification in their structure or maybe the morphological characters, or it might be the physiological character, or it is the anatomical character. So these characters are change in characters are mainly because of the variations. So these variations are occurs whenever these individuals are undergo the adaptation to a particular habitat according to the changing environmental condition, according to the changing habitat. So here these individuals are bringing some modification in their structure. So these structures are maybe the characters or induces the variation in an individual. So that's why, so we are going to observe the change in gene frequency, or it is change in the allelic frequency. So this allelic frequency and change in gene frequency is because of the variations. So these variations are with respect to the changing environmental condition or in order to adapt to a particular habitat. So that's why here it is the variation is the correct answer. So the any population has built in a in free DNA molecule. No, it's not a free DNA molecule. It is a DNA molecule. But first formed life forms arose on Earth's surface. They were not made up of the nucleic acids like the DNA. They were possessing the nucleic acids like the nucleotides, which are not act as genetic material. Okay. So later on, they are modified into the nucleic acids like the complex DNA molecule as well as RNA molecule. So that's why, so option, the third one is correct. Next, the RNA as well as proteins, these are the first biomolecules which are produced on Earth's surface during the ancestral Earth climatic condition in aquatic medium. Okay, so later on these are in turn modified into, which in turn gives us to some of the primitive life forms on Earth's surface. Next, the abiogenetic theory of origin states. Abiogenetic, the name itself explains here. The abiogenetic means abiogenesis process. Abiogenesis process means the formation of life form from the appearance of the new life form. The new life form appears due to non-living things. Due to non-living things, not living things. It is non-living things. The first life forms arose from the non-living things or maybe the non-living organisms. So that is called as abiogenetic theory, abiogenesis theory. So this theory was earlier given by the religious people or maybe the ethical peoples. Later on, which is well supported by the one of the scientists, greatest scientist of all the time, called as Aristotle. The Aristotle explains about or supports about to the theory of abiogenesis, that is theory of spontaneous generation. Not only the Aristotle, even though some of the scientists like the Thales, Plato, even though von Helmont. So these scientists were supports this theory of abiogenesis. So according to this abiogenesis theory, the first life form evolved or maybe arose on ancestral Earth's climatic condition in aquatic medium due to the non-living things or the non-living substances. That is called abiogenesis. Then, so this is also called as spontaneous generation. The organic evolution due to the chemical reaction. This organic evolution due to the chemical reaction was explained by the scientists called as operin. Not only the operin, even though the Haldane. Okay, the operin and Haldane explains about the origin of life by chemical reaction. The origin of next, the origin of life due to the pre-existing organisms. The origin of life due to the pre-existing organism is called as biogenesis theory. So this biogenesis theory was first time explained by experimentally, and it was explained by one of the scientists is called as Francisco Redis. The Francisco Reddy, well supported by the one of the scientists is called as Spallanzani. Okay, not only the Spallanzani, even though Louis Pasteur also supports this theory of biogenesis. The Louis Pasteur supports the biogenesis theory by conducting experiment by using the swan-necked flask, and thus he supports this biogenesis theory and disproves the theory of spontaneous generation, the theory of abiogenesis forever. So that is why the option it is the next fourth one. The origin of life form from blue green algae. No, this is not. This is wrong. Okay. So here that's why the option it is the spontaneous generation. The abiogenesis is also called as the spontaneous generation. Next, the ultimate source of organic evolution is. So here see the ultimate source of organic evolution. The organic evolution is nothing but the formation of the new species from the existing one, so that there will be a diversity of the species we are going to observe within a one of the population or a one of the community. So that leads to the organic evolution. That means the formation of new species from the existing individual, called as organic evolution. So this speciation, or maybe the formation of new species, might be it is because of the one of the main important the factor that is called as a mutation. So mutations are the main raw materials for the organic evolution. The mutation might be is like the saltation. Mutation like the saltation. The saltation is one of the main, the key factor which induces the speciation in a community or within a population, because the saltation is nothing but the single step large mutations may leads to the speciation, that is called as the saltation. The single step large mutations is nothing but the large mutations are going to be inducing within the embryo in embryonic condition whenever the fertilization is occurs after the fusion of male and female gametes. So there is a paternal and maternal homologous chromosome pairing is there, resulting in the recombination. Because of this recombination, there is a variation. So these variation may leads to the mutations, the change in the position of the gene, otherwise the change in the allelic frequency, the change in the gene frequency. So that induces the large mutations within the developing embryo, within the developing fetus, resulting in saltation. So this saltation results in or ends with a speciation, that is the formation of new species from the existing individual, that is called as a saltation. So because of this saltation, the new individuals are going to be produced by the one of the parent. That individual is born with the more variations, that individual born with the new character. So that's why it is called as the new species. So that species is not exactly resembles with their parent as well as parental population. So that's why that individual is called as a new species. So this new species formation, or maybe the formation of the new young one, the new species from the existing individual is called as a speciation. This speciation is because of mutation. The mutations are the main raw materials. Okay. Then the natural selection. The natural selection might be induces some variation in an individual, but so these variation according to the environmental factors or according to the environmental condition. So the natural selection will not bring a permanent change within the genome content of an individual. It will bring just morphological change of an individual. So that's why, so here it is not an ultimate source for the evolution or maybe the organic evolution. Then hormonal actions. The hormonal actions is not at all play a vital role here. Hormonal actions might be they are going to bring some physiological changes. That's all. Okay. Then sexual reproduction. Behind the sexual reproduction, so there is a the sexual reproduction might be it is where the individuals might be they are involving in the within the population, they are involving in the random mating, but these sexual reproductions always they will not induces the saltation, always they are not produces the variation. Okay. So that's why might be in some cases some of the favorable conditions, or it might be the unfavorable conditions, these are going to be induces the variations, but in most of the cases it does not bring much more variation within the genome content of an individual. The slight variation in the genome content or maybe gene frequency, allelic frequency, it does not bring much more effect on entire population. It is not responsible for the formation of a new species from the existing individual. So that's why, so this is not correct one. So that's why option it is the fourth one. The fourth one is exact answer for this ultimate source of organic evolution. Next, the term evolution in biology means that the term evolution was given by the one of the scientists is called as the Spencer gave the term the evolution. So according to the evolution is what you the evolution means fossil or old. No, it is not fossils. The fossils are going to be provide the evidences for the evolution. The fossils are going to be provide the evidences for the organic evolution. The fossils are going to be provide the evidences for the extinct individuals, or it might be the vestigial organs. So that's why. So the fossils are nothing but these are the remains of the hard parts of the dead plants as well as animals' body in earth crust, especially in the sedimentary rocks layer. That is called as fossils. So these fossils are going to be fossilized in earth crust. Then the living thing constantly change. The living thing constantly change is one of the characteristic feature of one of the uh, the factor or maybe sentence explained by the Darwin. Okay, then the life began in sea. Yes, life is begins in sea. There is no doubt in the life. The first life form arose on Earth's surface in aquatic medium. Okay, but it does not. It is not the exact meaning of the evolution. So that's why the man descended from the apes. Man descended from the apes. Here the man descended from the apes. This is one of the evolution, but here it is related to the particular individual, particular species. But then the what do you mean by the exact meaning of this the evolution? The evolution is nothing but the living things are going to be constantly changing from one form to another form, or from one individual to another individual, or maybe the formation of new species from the existing ones. So that is the exact meaning of the living thing constantly change. That is the exact meaning of the evolution. Okay, the living things constantly changing is the one of the exact meaning of this evolution. So that's why option the second one is correct one. Next, the question number 6. The dark melanic form of moth is expected to be more common in the dark melanic form individuals. So as you know that in moths, especially in England, so here the in England before 1850, so and 1850, even though after 1920 we observed a certain species of the moths. So this is called as Biston Betullaria form individual. Biston Betullaria form individual. So these Biston Betullaria form individual, it has the which are of two type. One is possessing the whitish gray color wing as well as body color, whitish gray body color, and the second one is a dark colored body as well as wing, that is called as a melanic form individual. So this melanic form individual's population size was increased after 1920, after the revolution occurs in England in industrialization. So that's why the whatever the industries or maybe the factories are going to be produces the soot or maybe the emits the smoke content. So these are start to deposit onto the surface of the tree trunk, resulting in the these dark color variety melanic form individuals, their body color and the carbon content which is deposited onto the tree trunk, they are matches with the body color, resulting in these individuals are going to be escape from the predator birds. As a result of that, this whitish gray color individuals or maybe these whitish gray color form individuals are going to be selected by the uh, identified by the predator birds on which these individuals where they feeds, resulting in so this population size is goes and decreases from 99 to 1 percentage, and this population size which goes and increase from 91 percentage to 99. So this is because of the increase in the melanic form of moths expected be more common in a polluted environmental area, not in non-polluted environment. In non-polluted environmental area, where the whitish, a gray color individual population size is goes on increased, because so in white the non-polluted area lichens development is very high. The lichens deposited onto the surface of the tree trunk as well as the rocks, even the substratum. Okay, so where the lichens color as well as the white tissue gray color Biston Betullaria form individuals body color is exactly matches before industrialization, resulting in its population size goes on increased 99 percentage. Okay, so that's why so the whitish gray color Biston Betullaria form individual population is very high in non-polluted area, but melanic form individuals population very high in the polluted environmental condition. So that's why the option, the first one. Next, the abiogenesis means. The abiogenesis means, the meaning of this abiogenesis. The origin of life forms from the non-living things or maybe non-living organism is called as abiogenesis. As I said already, which was explained by the many scientists, many the religious people, and also supported by the many scientists according to the some ideas of the religious people as well as aesthetic people. So it is called as the origin of life forms from the non-living things or maybe the non-living rotting matters. Okay, the origin of life from the living organisms, the origin of life from the living organism is called as biogenesis theory. It's called as biogenesis theory. Okay, next, the ship used by the Charles Darwin during sea voyage was, it was HMS Beagle. It was HMS Beagle. So during his voyage in 19th century, the Darwin, he worked as one of the ship sailor in one of the ship company called as HMS Beagle. Called as HMS Beagle. Okay. During his voyage, he come to know that the larving, sorry, the Darwin concluded that the existing individuals or maybe the existing living forms share similarity to varying degrees, not only among themselves, also with the life forms existing in the last uh, decades or maybe the last year or maybe the ancestor or maybe the millions of years ago. So whatever the, so these existing living things or maybe the existing living forms, they are going to be expressed the same character which was expressed by our ancestors the millions years back. So whatever our ancestors are going to be existed, so those characters are exactly resembles with the in with similarity in the various degrees in existing living forms. This is according to the Darwin. So where he analyzed and he explained by analyzing the various fishes characters as well as various the birds features in environment. At the same time, he visited to the one of the island is called as Galapagos Island and explained about the natural selection theory, the origin of new species by natural selection. Okay, that is adaptive radiation. About the adaptive radiation, he explained. So that's why the option is the second one. Next, by the statements, the survival of the fittest, Darwin's mean that. So here, the statement survival of the fittest, according to the Darwin, it means the strongest of all species survives. No. The most intelligent of the species survives. No. The species most adaptable to changes survives. Yes. The clearest of the species survives. No. So this is according to the Darwin statement, the survival of the fittest. The survival of the fittest is nothing but the reproductive fitness. The individual, the individuals which we have which have the capacity, the reproducible capacity, or maybe individuals which are reproductive fitness which has, so such type of individuals are going to be involving in random mating within the population and they are able to produce more and more young ones, more and more offsprings in the population in future generation, resulting in all these individuals or maybe progenies are born with small variations. So these variations are responsible for the evolution. So these variations are going to be individuals or maybe by using these variations, individuals are going to be fit. The fitted individual is going to be selected by the nature. Well adapted individual is going to be selected by the nature. The better adapted individual is selected by the nature. So this adaptation capacity is mainly because of reproductive fitness. This reproductive fitness is called as the survival of the fittest. This is according to the Darwin's. But the term the survival of the fittest was given by. survival of the fittest. It was given by the scientist called as Spencer. Okay, but the Darwin used this term during his the origin of new species from the by the natural selection. Origin of species by natural selection. While explaining about this theory, he used this sentence to explain about the fittest. Okay, but actually the fittest in an individual is not because of the survival of the fittest, not because of the adaptable capacity or maybe the reproductive capacity of an individual. This is because of the arrival of the fittest. So this arrival of the fittest according to the neo-Darwinism, according to the neo-Darwinism, that is arrival of the fittest. Arrival of the fittest, or maybe this term used by arrival of the fittest was used by the many group of scientists like the Huxley, Thales, Plato, even though the Hugo de Vries, okay, so sorry, not Hugo de Vries, Lilly, okay. So they were explained about the one of the new theories called as the synthetic theory of organic evolution, that is called as neo-Darwinism. So this is mainly based upon the ideas or maybe the concepts of the Darwins, concepts of the Mendelians, the concepts of the Hugo de Vries. Apart from that, the various ideas of these scientists like the Huxley, Haldane, and some other scientists, they were added their own ideas and they proposed one of the new theory is called as the synthetic theory of organic evolution. According to this synthetic theory of organic evolution, the not survival of the fittest is play a vital role in surviving or maybe the inducing the variation in an individual, or maybe uh, inducing the surviving capacity of an individual. This is because of the arrival of the fittest is one of the main character. So this is because of this character the individuals are going to be get adaptable capacity. Arrival of the fittest means the arrival, the fittest character is going to be arise in an individual in embryonic condition only through their parents or maybe through their ancestors in the form of genes. That is called as arrival of the fittest. Okay, so that's why the option, the third one is correct. Next, 10th one. The observations of species on Dash Islands heavily inspired Darwin's theory of evolution. So here, Galapagos Islands. Galapagos Islands, the observation of the species like the bird species in Galapagos Islands, which is observed by the Darwin. So these bird species, they are mainly feeds upon the seeds. These were of the seed-eating birds. These seed-eating birds, they will in turn produces the different species due to the changing environmental condition or maybe the due to changing habitat. Okay, so this is mainly because of whenever this Galapagos Islands is gets converted into the 13 the fragments of islands, they are in turn the non-availability of this food material or maybe the food sources. So in order to survive, these individuals are going to be bring some modification in their beak size, shape as well as color. Okay, that is the finch color, the finch shape and the size. Okay, some of they are becomes the modified into the frugivorous, some of they are modified into insectivorous, some of they are modified into sanguivorous, some of they are possessing wobbler type of the finch, some of they are possessing the woodpecker type of the finch, where the 6 different varieties of finches we are going to observe in Galapagos Islands by the Darwin. So all these different 6 species, they were evolved from one of the ancestral seed eating bird. Okay, so that's why this is the best example for this is the best example for the adaptive radiation. This is the best example for adaptive radiation. Okay, so that's why option the fourth one. The Faroe is the one of the island which was observed in the Mexico in US region. Okay, likewise Malaya archipelago is island where the Alfred Russel Wallace worked. Okay, Is it clear? Concludingly, the both Darwin as well as the Alfred Russel Wallace, they published one of the theory is called as the origin of new species by natural selection. Okay, so that's why here option is the fourth one. Next, the adaptive radiations refers to. The adaptive radiations refers to the migration of the members of the species to different geographical area. This is not an adaptive radiation. This is called as migration. The type of migration we are going to observe. That is, it is the best example for the gene flow, where the flow of genes are maybe the entry of the one form of an individual into the another population in the same geographical area, otherwise another geographical area. So that is called as migration. Okay. Then evolution of different species from a common ancestor. Yes, this is called as adaptive radiation. From the existing individual species, the new species evolved. That is called as the adaptive radiation. Okay. So this adaptive radiation is mainly because of the changes occurs in a particular characters, either it is morphological characters or it might be the anatomical characters. Okay, these characters are mainly because of the mutations, these characters are mainly because of the recombination, or it might be the natural selection, or it is the adaptation. Okay, then the third one, the adaptation due to the geometrical isolation. The geometrical isolation might be brings some. Yes, the adaptation due to geometrical isolation. No, in according to the changing the environmental condition, geographical area, the individual has have to be adjust or maybe adapt. Okay, that is adapting character. Adaptation strength is mainly depending upon the uh, individuals, the genome content. Okay, that is called as adaptation. Power of isolation is in an individual. No, so that's why option it is the second one is correct one. Next, the given diagram represents the Stanley Miller's experiment. Choose choose the correct combination of the labeled labelings A, B, C, D, E. The A is a spark chamber, electrodes it is. So these are the electrodes here. It is the A. Then the second one here it is B, the mixture of gases. The mixture of gases like the ammonia, hydrogen, water, and the methane gas. Then the C here it is the liquid water in trap, the liquid water present in trap, and D is vacuum pump. So that's why option is the third one. Next, the simple organic compounds that may have first evolved in the direction of origin of life on the earth must have been the simple organic compounds that have been first evolved. So these first evolved simple organic compounds might be they are of the proteins as well as nucleic acids. So these nucleic acids they are mainly present in the form of the nucleosides, or it is present in the form of the nucleotides. So whatever the nucleotides evolved in ancestral earth climatic condition, so this nucleotide is not act as a DNA molecule, is not act as a genetic material, which act as one of the a simple biomolecule. Okay, so that's why option it is the third one. Okay, so next, the which of the following is used as an atmospheric pollution indicator? The light chains are used as one of the pollution indicator, not Lepidoptera. Lepidoptera is the insects. Lepidoptera is one of the insects. Okay, so here this Lepidoptera includes the some of the insects, like it's one of the order. The order it includes insects like are the butterfly, moths, etc. These were included in one of the order called as Lepidoptera. The Lepidoptera is the order. The finches is nothing but it is a beak. Okay, the moth is one of the insect species. So that's why option first one. Next, the animal husbandry and plant breeding are the examples of. The animal husbandry and the plant breeding are the best example for the artificial selection. The animal husbandry, in animal husbandry, we are going to select the one of the desirable quality individual. Artificially, we are going to select the particular individual which has the desirable trait, which has the domesticated character, which has the or ancestral or maybe the wild variety recessive trait. Otherwise, wild variety of dominant traits is going to be selected, and that will be used in the hybridization technique, that will be used in a decombinant DNA technology, so by which we are going to be able to produce the new variety of individuals within a short period of time, the new species, a new breeds within a short period of time at a large scale. So this is because of artificial selection. By using this artificial selection, we are able to produce many the hybrid variety plants, or maybe tissue culture technology which is used this artificial selection. Then the mutation theory was explained by the one of the scientists is called as Hugo de Vries. According to the Hugo de Vries, the mutations are nothing but any desirable changes occurs in a DNA content or a fragment of DNA is called as the mutation. So this mutation might be this point mutation or it is the saltation. Okay. Otherwise, the frame shift mutation, otherwise translation mutation. So these mutations are going to be the main raw material for the organic evolution. So these mutations are random. The mutations are the non-directional ones. The mutations are discontinuous. This is according to the Hugo de Vries. Hugo de Vries conducted experiment on Ionethera lamarckiana. Hugo de Vries conducted experiment on Ionethera lamarckiana. The Ionethera lamarckiana is commonly called as the evening primrose plant. It's called as evening primrose plant. So that's why option it is the third one. Next, the life came from the outer space. This theory is called the life came from outer space is called as panspermia theory. The theory of panspermia. It is also called as the theory of cosmozoic theory or the theory of panspermia. So this theory was explained by the scientist is called as the Richter. Okay. So till today also we are believing on this theory where the sum of the spores, life spores which have come from the another planet in the form of the meteorite, in the form of meteoroids. In the form of meteoroids. So the meteoroids are nothing but these are mainly enclosing one of the mud-like structure which encloses the life spores. So these life spores have come from the another planet in the form of meteoroid. The meteoroid is mainly forms of one of the hard structure around these spores. When such type of meteoroid come from the another planet, when it is hit onto the surface of the Earth surface, then this meteoroid surface is going to be gets broken down, and these spores are gets scattered on different part of the Earth surface in different habitat. They in turn modified into the new life forms on Earth surface. According to the Richter, the sum of the life forms which are enter into the aquatic medium, they are modified into aquatic animals as well as plants, and some of the spores which have entered into the desert area, they are modified into the desert animals, desert plants, and some of the spores which you have the entered on the terrestrial land surface, they are modified into terrestrial animals. So this is according to the panspermia theory. That is called as the life forms come from the other spaces or maybe the other planet. Then the spontaneous theory. The spontaneous theory is also called as the abiogenesis theory. The theory of special creation. The theory of special creation was explained by the scientist is called as Swaraj. According to the Swaraj, the God create. Otherwise, one of the divine power in universe is going to be created these life forms onto the surface of the earth, planet earth. This is according to the theory of special creation. So that's why option the second one. Next, AI Operin was a the AI Operin was one of the Russian biochemist. So where explains about the theory of a chemical evolution of life. So he explains about the due to a series of chemical reaction in aquatic medium, there is a formation of one of the life forms. So this life forms are formed in aquatic medium were called as conservates by the operin. So these conservates are nothing but these are the small droplet of molecules or bubble-like structures present in ancestral earth climatic conditions, especially in aquatic medium. These are the floating substances. These are droplet of substances which encloses the one of the as fluid content. So this fluid content is different compared to the surrounding water. Okay. So this fluid content present within the droplet of conservate molecule is called as hot dilute soup. This is according to the Haldani. Hot dilute soup. Okay. So that's why option the fourth one. Next. The Pasteur experiments and the similar ones that followed convinced of most of the people that the spontaneous generation of life did not happen because the spontaneous generation of life did not happen because of spontaneous generation means it is the urbagency theory. Life did not happen because the posture span naked flask ruled out the objections that spoiled air could have contaminated his experiment. Yes. So here he by conducting experiment on this he used to explain about the uh, theory of biogenesis and the supporting the theory of biogenesis, and also it disproves the theory of biogenesis forever, where the spoiled area in swan necked flask is unable to produce any the new life forms in swan necked flask, but the whatever the liquid content present or maybe the broth he collected in is the swan necked flask where it is responsible for the production of or maybe formation of new species, new life forms in aquatic medium. So thus he disproves this theory of spontaneous generation. So that's why option second one. Next, stellar distances are measured in the stellar distances are measured in light years, in the form of light years. Next, the life appeared dash million years after the formation of Earth. After 500 millions of years after formation of Earth, the first life forms evolved on Earth's surface. That is 500 million years. Okay. Next, the similarity of bone structure in the forelimbs of many vertebrates is an example of the similarity in the bone structure of forelimbs of the many vertebrates. That is the one of the example for the homology. So this is the best example for the homologous organs. Not only this one, even though the thorns of bougainvillea and the tendrils of the cucurbita is the best example for the homology. So why it is best example for homology? The forelimbs of vertebrates, if you observe, the forelimbs of vertebrates, if you observe, so these vertebrates forelimbs they have evolved from they have arised from derives from the pectoral girdle. In all the vertebrate individuals, the from the pectoral girdle, so these forelimbs derives. Okay. So these pectoral from the pectoral girdle, whatever the forelimbs are evolved, these forelimbs are mainly possessing the bones. So these bones might be the humerus bone, radii and ulna, the carpels, metacarpals, even though the phalanges. All these bones are present in these vertebrate individuals like the cheetah, human beings, the bats, even though the whale is well adapted to the aquatic mode of life, where the forelimbs of the whales, they are modified into flippers. The forelimbs of the bats, they are modified into patagium, and that helps in aerial mode of life, that helps in flight. The forelimbs which are present in whales in the form of flippers, they are helps in swimming. The forelimbs which are modified into the forelimbs, as in case of the cheetah, they are well adapted for the fast running. That's why this cheetah is one of the fastest run, one of the animal on earth which is the fastest runner. Likewise, the forelimbs, as in case of human beings, they are modified into arms. The forearms, these forearms are well adapted to the holding the various objects as well as performing the various activity. So there's the same structures are there, origins are also same, but their functions are different. So that may leads to adaptive radiation. Adaptive radiation may leads to the divergent evolution. So that's why option the second one is correct. Convergent evolution. Convergent evolution results of this analogy. Analogy is nothing but analogous organs. Analogous organs where the structures are different, same. Sorry, the structure is different, the origin is different, but function is same. So if you observe the wings of bat as well as the wings of insects, the structures which are arise from the parts of the body, they are different in origin, and their origin is also different, but the function is the same. As in case of insects, the wings are arise from the thoracic segments, but as in case of bat as well as birds, the forelimbs are modified into the wings. Okay, structures are different. They are arise from the derived from the pectoral girdle, but here it is derived from the thoracic cavity. The structure, the forelimbs, they are well supported by the bones as well as the muscles, and here these are the insects wings are not supported by the muscles as well as bones. These are in turn supported by the trachea. Okay, so that's why these insects are fly only for the smaller distance, but these bats as well as the birds, they will fly for a longer distance, even though from one continent to another continent. Okay, they are possessing the strong muscles. The function is same, the structure is different, origin is different. That's why they are called as analogy. Next, the wings of mosquito and the bat shows. The wings of mosquito and the bat shows the analogy. It is responsible for the convergent evolution from in mosquito. So the wings of mosquito, they are arise from the thorax segment. They are, as in case of bat, their forelimbs are modified into wings, but they are origin is different, structure also different, but their function is similar. The functionally they are same. Okay, so that's why the analogous organs helps in the convergent evolution. Convergent evolution means from the different group of individuals from the different directions, in order to share, in order to adapt to a particular habitat, they are sharing common features. That is called as convergent evolution. Okay, so that's why option fourth one is correct. Next, Biston Petullary has two forms. One is light and another one is a dark melanic form. The dark melanic form is expected to be more common in polluted environment compared to the non-polluted environment. In non-polluted environment, the light colored variety are more. Okay. So second one. Which of the following shows analogy? The eyes of octopus as well as eyes of mammals, they shows the analogy because the eyes are mainly performing the function vision. Okay, but the eyes of octopus belongs to the mollusca. Molluscans, they do not possessing the at a particular location, at a particular site, these eyes, these might be, it is varies because of they are mainly possessing the muscular foot as well as visceral mass. The visceral mass area we are going to observe. So the presence of these eyes, the eyes are just shifting its position. Okay, the structure is also different compared to the eyes of human beings. The octopus eyes are different compared to the mammals, but mammals eyes they are located in the sphenoid cavity in face region. Okay, in facial bones, but they perform the function, same function. Next, so option it is the first one. The vertebrate hearts, they are example for the homology. The thorns of bougainvillea and tendrils of cucurbita also example for the homology. The vertebrate heart, vertebrate, they are explained by the scientist called as Haeckel. Explains about the biogenetic law. The vertebrate brains. So the vertebrate brains about this explained by the Von Baer is also provide the evidences for the organic evolution. Is so that's why option the first one. Next, the organs of different species that are related to each other through common descent, though become functionally different, are called as. They are called as the organs which are different species that are related to each other through common descent through the become functionally similar. That is called as homologous organs. Okay. There are different species are evolved which are possessing the different structure. They are modification in their structure, but they are evolved from the common descent. That is called as homology. Okay. Vestigial organs. The vestigial organs, these are the organs which are present in an individual, but these are non-functional. These are not highly well developed. These are the organs which are disused by the various organisms. So this use and disuse of organs was explained by the one of the scientists is called as the Jean Baptiste Lamarck. Okay, according to the Lamarckism theory, use and disuse of organs. Use of used organs are well developed and these are more functional in future generation individuals. So that's why the existing giraffe, they were evolved, they were used, they were stretched more and more their neck as well as forelimbs, resulting in increasing in the length of the giraffe neck as well as forelimbs. This is according to the Lamarckism. So the Lamarck says the used organs are developed more and they are more functional in future generation individuals. But disused organs are non-functional. Those are called as vestigial organs. These organs are called as the nictitating membrane. Not only nictitating membrane, even though many other structures are there in human body, more than 180 structures are there which are vestigial in its function. Next, the which of the following is a set of homologous organs? The wings of grasshopper, wings of parrot. The wings of grasshopper, wings of parrot is the best example for analogy, not homology. The wings of housefly, wings of birds is also the example for the analogy. The heart of vertebrate is the best example for the homology. Is the best example for homology. This is according to the some of the scientists like the Haeckel. Okay, the embryological evidences, because these vertebrate hearts, they are mainly possessing the similarity in their basic plan, but they are the varies in their degree of the specialization according to the habitat which they are existed. This because of that they are able to express some different functions. So that's why the option is the second one. Okay, next. The analogous structures are the analogous structures similar in origin and functions. No, different in its origin and function. No, different in origin but similar in function. That is option C. Darwin's finches are found in Galapagos Islands. Read the following three statements A to C and mark the correct option. The thorns of bougainvillea and the tendrils in cucurbita represents the divergent evolution. This is correct. The similarity in the eyes of octopus and the monkeys is a result of convergent evolution. Yes, this is correct. The potato and the sweet potato are the example for homology. No, this is wrong. So that's why option, the third one, A and C are correct. Sorry. The A and first option, A and B statements are correct. Next, last question. According to the Darwin, fitness refers to according to the Darwin, the fitness is nothing but reproductive fitness, as I said already. Okay, the reproductive fitness is play a vital role existing an individual, and they are able to produce more and more offsprings in next generation or maybe in their future generations. Okay, so that's about the Darwin's fitness. Okay, so that's all. Today's wait, one more question is a the Darwin's finches represents one of the best examples of adaptive radiation. The original small black bird that migrated to Galapagos Islands from South America were the seed eaters. They were mainly feeds upon the seed eating. These ancestral seed eating birds, they in turn gives rise to the different species according to the changing environmental condition or habitat. Okay, so that's why option the second one. So that is about the today's the zoology question paper discussion based on topic evolution part 1. Thank you.